Hi, this is Dr. Cheryl Meyer, and I'm at my office. But if you want a real psychologist in your life or therapist, find one. I'm just talking as a friend here. And the last thing I wanted to do was to make another ghosting video. And I still don't know if this is something I'm going to post. I'll see afterwards how I feel. But I just had a pretty intense session with one of my clients. And of course what it can do is it can bring up whatever else is going on in us. And as a therapist, as a psychologist. And so I take it very seriously to keep doing my job. My job is to part of my discipline. This is why I'm doing this with you and why I do it in my own life. I mean, I I ought to do it for my own sake, but I'm more motivated also because I work with clients and because I want to love people. I don't want to hurt people. And so wanting to be present with your clients is it's important that you keep working on your own stuff so that when my clients need to go to painful places, I'm willing to go there with them and I don't direct them somewhere else because it's going to be too painful for us to go there. So what I thought I would do is just talk this stuff out on camera. So I don't know how much. I don't want to filter myself. I just want to be my own person. But I'm not obligated to tell all of my pain to the whole world. Though I could act out like I'm dealing with someone else's problem. But I don't know. It just doesn't seem authentic. And okay, so let's just go there and see what happens. I'd rather wait for the ghoster. And this doesn't have to do with the person who ghosted me at all. It just, even on our mystical trip when I went to the spiritual trip to Turkey, we were sort of all agreeing that we're all going to work out our own stuff. We all want to shed our egos. And so we kind of agreed to just be like a holding space for the other people, for them to work out their stuff, their BS. All of the stuff that we get entangled with that hold us back, our limiting beliefs, our ego, our not our real self, whatever is keeping us from being our true, authentic selves. It was beautiful. People were so silent on this trip. Like we'd be in the bus and everyone would be silent, and not because we're not social, just because we're all giving each other space to keep working on letting go of whatever skins don't need to be there anymore. Like they're just keeping us from connecting with source, from being filled with light. Just look at it like it's just like I kept being reminded of this movie that haunted me when I was a child. So I think it's Ray Bradbury because I found it once we had Wikipedia and stuff. I'm like, oh, I can look up that movie because I just saw it one day, and I mean, I was just gutted, just crying for God knows how long. But it's a story. This will help you get to the same place where I am. It's this short story and it was a movie. And I have no idea how we were just by ourselves as kids watching this upstairs. I remember I lived in Texas. I grew up in Dallas, so lots of siblings. So we'd hang out. We were watching this show, and so they're on like Mars or something, and there's this one girl that had come there from Earth, and she had seen the sun before, and everyone was asking her what it was like. How was it? She's just trying to describe it to them, And then on their planet, the sun only came once every like 6 years or something, or maybe 10, because these kids were like 10 and they hadn't ever seen the sun, or they didn't remember seeing the sun. And so it was going to come that day, but they were bullying her and they got in a fight with her. She was trying to stand up for someone else, and they locked her in this room. And they all went out, and there were flowers, and the sun came out, and they were all like, their faces were in the sun, and she's just locked in this room trying to get out. And they're out there, and the sun was only going to show for a couple hours. And then they remembered they had locked her in. Just because they were kids and they were playing at that time, they didn't mean to lock her out from the sun. But she was locked out. And they... God, don't go... I know that it's on YouTube. I couldn't even go watch the movie again because it impacted me so much as a kid. But they find her, and as far as I remember, she didn't get to see it. She has to wait another 10 years. It's so sad. It's morbid. Like, I know. Oh, how many of these videos am I just gonna cry? But it feels like that when we're cut off from love. And so, you know, my friend Elliot dying, he's not in charge of me being cut off from love. Me working so hard on my spiritual life so that I could connect, you know, with the Son of God is Christ, but it's like the light of source, or the light of the sun, or just having access to love flowing in your life. My ghoster or anybody else in my life, any other relationship I've had, my parents or whomever, like, none of them are in charge of my connection with love. I'm allowed to have that connection. You're allowed to have that connection. What our job is to do is to find out how to rewrite that movie that I just described, how to, you know, some people believe, and you know, you can have whatever belief you want to have. Don't follow me on any of mine. You have to explore the truth and understand it yourself and accept what is true, and do the research yourself, research of truth, you know, to understand what is true. And but I'll bring up what, and I don't want to alienate, like I said, any religion. I'll bring up what some people believe is that, you know, we were with God in the light and we came down here. And so we have a recollection of our oneness with God. And, or if you think of Christ saying, I and the Father are one. I was meditating on this verse earlier this week in my assigned stuff from my spiritual director I mentioned before. She assigned me stuff to enter in, and you meditate and you use all your 5 senses and you see yourself there. And, you know, all this stuff is like, keeps interfering with that, but it's important to keep practicing it, even if you're not doing that well. Keep at your discipline, at your practice. It will keep your mind clear and keep you learning how to keep going back to that silent place. But one of the meditations was Jesus saying, pretty soon you guys will all scatter and I will be left alone. But he says, I am never alone. And he's not just saying that, I'm never alone, because my Father is with me. The source of all of the cosmos and all of the creation is with him, and he is with the Father. And then he said something like, as I am with you, or something. I can't remember how it was, but I know that that was in there. It's just like, because I've told you already before in the other videos, unless I edited it out, I don't think I did, is I hear in my heart, I'm always with you. I will never leave you. I will never forsake you. And sometimes it's just words. Oh, okay, well, guess what? You're leaving me in this person, in this person, in this situation, and in myself, and how do I fix this? I can't. I personally can't keep trying to fix the problem the way I was trying to fix it. I mean, some of it was working. Like, for sure it was working. For sure it's bringing healing to all these different areas. There were layers, and you guys see there's layers and layers and layers of psychological stuff under this. But a lot of it's just this old belief. And this is the painful part. Oh, God. That we're going to be cut off from the sun, from the source, from divine love, from any kind of love, from being loved, from learning how to do this within ourselves, from choosing to do it within ourselves. So I'll just go back. I have my own notebook to do this. I'd rather wait for the ghoster. And again, like I was saying, this isn't about that person. I wish so much love to that person. I hope that just like all of us on the spiritual trip that we're all benefiting from still. All of us, all of you who are here, are getting the benefits of the intention of that trip. The man and the organization that set up that trip set it up so that this stuff would unfold in our lives. And there's, like, he calls it divine mercy that follows us, that is working to heal this. And as I heal it, like I said I said this in a different video that's not a ghoster video. I did a video on the song by Big Star. And I don't even know if Big Star wrote all that stuff in their song. Like, this is what I was hearing and what I was getting and what I felt from my interaction with my friend Elliot. From us interacting and having conversations about it, and then my brother and I talking about it. But anyway, in that video, in that video, gosh, because I'm giving to you guys, and I'm in I was in a non-ego place. I hope to God I'm in a non-ego place today. Anyway, on that video, I was talking about how as we grow, it's like you're getting seeds of truth and of knowledge, and you're leaving them like flowers behind. And so the people, oh look, there's my roses over there. As the people behind you are walking on this spiritual trail and the psychological trail, they're reaping the benefits. The work that we do is not just for us, it's for everybody. And so I was just saying, I wish so much love to my ghoster and to everybody else on that trip, and to you guys. I'm doing this so that we can all authentically grow in our spiritual life and in our psychological life and in our ability to expand our capacity to love and to sit in the sun and let it shine on our face and let it into your hearts. And I'm not going to apologize for crying. It's just painful to go to these places. And I just asked my client to go there. I won't identify like what age or gender or anything, because I don't want to identify any of my clients. I love them. But if I ask other people to go there, then I better damn well go to these places myself. Sorry if you guys don't want to hear that word. Hopefully your kids aren't around, I know. I'm mindful that, because I have kids, I don't, but I better go there myself. And so I'm willing to do this. And I don't want to put any barriers, because I want to go here myself. Okay, so the inquiry, I learned how to do this for work, just doing an exploration together about how to bring healing to one person that got ghosted from a kindred spirit, someone that I let close into my soul space, which just means like our childhood, it's just like our childhood. That's all. It's like we keep people. Here, I'll draw a picture. Funny, it looks like a target. We can keep people out here, like we meet someone at the fast food or whatever, or maybe I might let my clients in a little closer here, or my kids are way in here, of course. But it's just like our family of origin, our family that we grew up with, they're just in this space. And so it's just like when anyone goes in that space and you let them in, because you're trusting again, and it's good to be trusting. It's just, maybe it's better to get to know, or maybe it happened for a reason for all of us, or maybe I'm just a masochist and I just let people in too quickly, like all of you guys. There's a benefit to that as well. So when you let people into that inner space, then it activates all your old stuff from when you were a child, or whatever's left over from other people that you've led into that space. And so again, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't have anything to do with this person, other than, I let that person into this space, so of course I wish them love. So let's go and bring love to ourselves. Let's stop putting this off. This could have been a whole big procrastination because it's hard to go here. So deal with it if you don't like long videos, because I don't want to cut out a bunch of stuff, because it's sometimes we need this build up, the warm up, to be willing to go there, because sometimes you're not ready to go there first too right away. So okay, so we go, and you can get a piece of paper and write this down, is I'd rather wait for the ghoster to show up and say, girl, you are worth loving. We can have humor too. You are worth loving. Oh, one other thing I really did want to I put this in a tweet, but who's going to go read that thing from I don't know how many days ago. What I see a lot in here is here in my office, when people are feeling a certain, they're feeling neglected inside, or they're feeling abandoned, or they're feeling ghosted, what they'll do is provoke me to feel that same thing in here. So it's so funny because in my training they taught us how to deal with, not that I'm perfect, but been doing this for over 20 years, is that one client might say, you're the coldest person I've ever met, and the next client might say, you're way in my space and you're too affectionate, and the next client may say, I don't know, why are you so critical? And the next client might say, why are you so lenient? And so what happens is we project a lot of stuff onto our therapist, and client will act out their own internal stuff, and they don't realize they are, and they will. My job is to be sensitive to what I'm experiencing. So I go, oh wait, what am I experiencing? Oh, I'm experiencing this person is trying to get me to abandon them, or they're ghosting me because they feel ghosted inside. So I'm not saying all ghosters that this is what's going on inside of them. It's not my job to do all their work. Maybe some ghosters are watching this so that they can, it'd be great for all of us to bring healing to these areas of our lives. I don't want to judge them anymore. I'm sick of judging. But it could be that they were abandoned in a certain way at an early stage of their life by someone that ought not to have abandoned them. They really ought not to have them. And then we make excuses for those people for abandoning us. And whatever excuses we have for those people that chose to do that when we were little and were kids and they ought not to have, but they did it out of their own brokenness, whatever excuses we carry on for them, we're giving those same excuses to ourselves, and that's what makes us, we're choosing to repeat the same cruel behavior that that person did, in their own ignorance. We don't have to keep calling it cruel, but it's cruel to abandon a child. But whatever, we have the calling to forgive us, divine love, forgive us how we have trespassed,
and gone over people's boundaries and misused them in the wrong way. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us, um, who have stepped over our boundaries or misused us or neglected us or left us in times and places that we ought not to have been left. Okay, so here's the inquiry. I'd rather wait for the ghoster. The ghoster, let's put it on him, someone external to us, then go in and find out, is this person worth loving? Is this person worth bringing the sun to? So I'm going to go to that place and ask myself this. And you ask yourself this too, honestly. If I'm going here, you go here. I'd rather wait for the ghoster to say, you are worth loving. You are worth knowing. You are worth communicating with. You are worth setting free from this dungeon. Gosh, I can learn so much from fairy stories. They really are there to bring us so much more insight and healing. Because this is like, a princess locked in a dungeon and waiting for true love, like the prince, to cut through all the brambles and the thorns for Sleeping Beauty, let's say, has been put to sleep by some kind of evil that was done to her. Some fairy that was jealous. Whatever, some evil cause caused her to be cut off from love. Or just like Snow White, when she tastes the apple from the jealous stepmother and she's asleep and the prince has to come through the forest and find her and give her true love's kiss, and she wakes up and they live happily ever after. Which, when any of us are cut off from love, and I talked about this in the Big Star video that I didn't name a ghosting video, but you can go there. I'm putting it in our ghosting playlist so that you can get the information from that too, because it's made within the same phase. I was just sick of making ghosting videos. I wanted it to be over. Anyway, so but when I was talking about in that video the divine masculine and divine feminine, or if you think of all of the souls, the church is a Greek word, ekklesia, which means the gathering together of souls, or of a group. And so if we look at the church, it's meant to be called the bride of Christ. And I'm not a theologian, I've studied a lot of theology, but study your own faith path. I'm just giving a universal example, and I don't want to lead anyone off their own path, so that we can understand some of these concepts and still utilize them without. I'm not your pastor or priest or rabbi, but I do like teaching. But so I'm mindful. But anyway, the divine feminine is like all of our souls are like a woman, like a ship is called a woman, or it's like she. I think they refer to ships as she's. But anyway, so yeah, that would make sense, the vessel in the ocean. But anyway, we are the receptive. There's different aspects of male and female, and of course we're equal. I feel like we were made and we were separated, and so we're equal, but there's different aspects in each, and it's important to respect the different aspects of each. And don't look at me, because I have it mixed up in my head. I'm like, wait, what? No, I'm gonna get this done, because I don't care if I'm the woman or the man. I'm getting this done. But when I do things in an off-balance way, it's throws things off balance. But regardless, let's go stop commentating. Let's go back to the divine feminine is the receptive part of our souls that allows divine love. And as Christ is called the groom to the bride, I'm just using Christ as an example here. It's one I know personally, but as he's coming forward to unite with us, to bring us the love we've been missing, and the divine love does that. So it is like Snow White in the forest. We don't need a prince. We already have one. We have the source of all of love that loves to love us and wants to love us. But it's our job to be the prince and the princess and wake up. I won't say what. Wake up. But we don't have to wake up. But we're meant to know love. And why would we keep that from ourselves? So I go back to, I'd rather wait for the ghoster. Some part of me wants to wait for I want a real prince to come and show up. Like, come on, just be a prince already and show up and make sure that I know that I'm worth loving. And this is just from childhood. This is waiting for our parents, because when we were children, our parents were meant to do this. They're meant to pick us up as kids and love us and give us this love that we've been missing. But if they're still waiting for their parents, and they're still waiting for their parents, and they're still waiting for their parents, then how long are we going to wait? When are we going to take responsibility for our own lives and for connecting ourselves with Source and with showing love to ourselves, instead of waiting for our parents to get it? Because they might never get it, and their parents are long gone or close to gone or whatever. And so someone needs to break the cycle. I'm not waiting. I'm breaking the cycle, and I keep breaking the cycle, and I keep breaking the cycle. And when opportunities like this come up, I'm going to keep breaking the cycle. And I may not get it perfect, but you know what? Like, who am I? What right do I have to keep cutting love off from the essence of myself, from the child part of myself, because I got another ghosting experience that just showed up in a different way in my inner world, in my inner space. Like, good. This is a great opportunity for us to heal this. Okay, let's go there. Maybe we've just been avoiding it still. Okay. But all of this information can help. Okay, I'd rather wait for the ghoster to say, the ghoster's like our parents, waiting for them to go, you are worth loving. I'm so sorry I ever cut off love from you. You are worth knowing. You're beautiful. You're worth communicating with. Beautiful, like, you are all beauty. Like, I see the star that you came from, the shine that's in your heart, the love that's there, that you're meant to awaken. And I love to awaken that with you and love you. You're worth loving, you're worth knowing, you're worth communicating with. You're worth setting free from this dungeon. You're worth knowing the sun. I'm writing that part down. The sun. And Elliot, my friend Elliot, would do a word play on that. Sometimes it would be sun and sun. you're talking about the brilliant sun. Um, he wouldn't be so blatant as I would, as to say like Son of God, Christ, or anything, because he's much more poetic than I am about. I don't want to alienate people, but I'm still going to be like, this is the sun and also the sun. I know that I know the sunlight that flows through the Christ himself. Like he was in it. He knew how to live in that place. Whatever, if you think he's God and know him as God or whatever, that's on your path. That's your path to know this. I just know. I mean, I know a lot of things about Christ. I'm not going to teach right now, but I know that he knows this love and he gave it to everyone he interacted with. And so who are we, who am I, to keep this person of myself without that love when it's available to us? Okay, so let's ask this question. You can write more stuff than what I just wrote. This is just what's coming up in my mind. Is I'd rather wait for the ghoster. Because I say, why won't he do this work? Why won't he do this? And it can be a she. I've talked to men since this. Gosh, I had my first day on Instagram and got some weird direct messages. I had no idea that this happens on Instagram. I'm like, baby, I don't do Instagram. But I love, like, all the people that interacted with me were sincere, and I just interacted in the present moment, and I won't go into it. But I did hear from some people on there that they've been ghosted, men. And so I'm using the, why won't he do this? But look, you can do, obviously you can do, why won't she do this? Why won't she come in as this loving princess that brings me, that sees my worth as the prince and brings me all the love that I'm missing? And God is both divine male and divine female. And God is just divine love. And so all we're missing is that love. But the love is always available for us. I think I quoted Rumi in one of my, and that's where I quoted it. We're looking for water everywhere, and he says we're swimming in an ocean of water right now. We don't realize it. So we have access to love. So let's look at, why won't he do this work, or why won't she do this work and show up and teach you all this? You are worth loving. You are worth knowing. You are worth communicating with. Gosh, when I go in my ego, this is really embarrassing to talk about, but when I'm not in it, it's not at all embarrassing, because we want these answers, so let's go, So I got to get to a place of a sincere answer instead of just the answer I already know from work, from my clients. It's just easier. It's easier to wait for that person and keep saying how bad they are to myself or to them. It's like, eek. I don't need to say to them. I may or may not have inadvertently on purpose, but I knew that I would just, it's not about that other person. Like, anyway. I mean, I'm making these videos, so we know that something has come out, but I keep going back to correcting myself. But yeah, I'd rather keep saying, you're the one to blame. You're the one cutting off love. And I'll draw a chart so that we can see this. Look, dude, this person is doing this much on the pie chart. But what happens is, and I keep working on my stuff. Like, you'd think some of it would disappear. And I know it has. I've done a lot of work. And it's made a tremendous, I have such a bigger capacity to love than I ever did before, because I've done the work. But if I have all this old stuff of my parents not showing up and them abandoning me, then this guy hasn't even done that. Like, this isn't even about that guy. The guy was just a trigger point that brought up all these other people. So if we go and yell at that ghoster or something, and I tried to moderate it because I know, but still I regret. But that's okay. Like, forgive me if you see this. Forgive me. I don't want to communicate to that person here. I just want to. I'm doing this for all of us. Um, is if we have all this old pain and we're yelling at this person, or in a relationship, if you're in a relationship with someone and you happen to be watching this is what our fights can be about. We have all this old pain and we're yelling at them for all this old stuff. This happens with my kids. They trigger, like my kid did something this morning and I was like, I have to just calm myself down. He just triggered all this, any other time when all these people disrespected me, you know, it shuts my kid down when I throw all of this at him. So we have to practice not throwing all that. I mean, you don't have to practice. You can if you want to be more conscious and aware and have conscious relationships with people and with your kids and with the people around you and with yourself. Like, we want it for ourselves. We want it for, you know, not mistreating other people. So, of course, we have all this yelling that we want to throw on to the other person because it's painful. It can be painful. Whatever, like, deal with the pain. Let's go there. You know, it's important to clear this out. I was saying to one of my clients, it's like I just took 100 bags of garbage out and took it to the dump. Like, of course, I want to do that work. The work is worth it. It's painful and it's cleaning up a bunch of garbage and taking it out, but you're lighter. You're not carrying it around in your psyche anymore. It's like energy that's weighing you down, that's keeping you from loving and from knowing love. That's all we want, is to know more love. I mean, when I break it down, it comes to that. So, easier. So if we take this path of the easy path, which people were used to, it's like, I'd rather go drink, or I'd rather watch TV all day, or I'd rather be on Facebook, or I'd rather get likes on Instagram. Like, oh my gosh, I'm over that. After one day, I'm like, the end, like, whatever, you know. But you get caught up in some of this stuff because you think, oh, now I'm going to know the love. Oh, now I'm going to know the love. Oh, now I'm going to numb myself from not knowing the love. Oh, now I'm going to run to this thing or run to that thing. Or this song. I love songs, obviously. But the songs can be so healing in the moment. And they really can. And they can bring you more insight and understanding how to love, or what love looks like, or replicate that feeling of what love is when you do feel it, you know? But, so, there's one close to honest answer. I have to go in steps here. Bear with me. It's easier to wait for the other person to keep going. My parents, it was their job to love me. Why aren't they showing me this? Why didn't they teach me this? Why can't I have it already? Why won't someone just open this prison door so I can sit in the sun and feel it on my face? Sunlight on my face. I see the dust clouds disappear without a trace. If I had my guitar here, I could bust out it would take me a long time to learn that song. Well, like 15 minutes. But it's a U2 song. Pouring rain. Where the streets have no name. There it is. I don't have to sing it, but sunlight on my face. Like, anyway, this lighting is so bad, but I don't want to like take the video down because I didn't get the lighting fixed in my office. So I'd rather wait for that person, because then I can keep blaming. I can keep saying to my parents, let's say, it goes back to my parents, you're the ones to blame. You know, you're the one cutting off love. But it's like, look in the mirror and go, you are over 18. I am responsible now to bring love to that part of me that got it cut off. Like, for whatever reason, for whatever sad, you know, reason, my parents were broken and they acted in broken ways. And she got left without love in certain areas of my life. That's me. And that's you. So, yes, it's easier to blame. Okay, so I was taught, forgive. and I write it like this, is forgive with the E on it. That means to give love beforehand. To give love beforehand. And so that's about give love before they've earned it. But I kind of mess that up sometimes because I don't want to make excuses for people's bad behavior, because that's what they're doing. They're making excuses for the bad behavior of people in their own lives, so that throws everything off balance. But to forgive is to say, like, forgive us our trespasses. Give us love before we've earned it. We're just sorry we've done it, but forgive us as we forgive is to cancel the debt. So I say it like this, to myself and to other people, is like, here's the list of all the things you've done, and I give that to God, not to the person. I just give it to God, and I just say, look, I can't carry their debt anymore. I want this debt to be paid. I want love. And as long as I'm waiting for that person, then I'm turning my back. I'll do it. I'm turning my back on myself. So here's this person that needs to be loved, this child part of me. And anyway, there's this child part of me that is meant to be loved. And so as long as I keep holding on to the debt to them, and giving it to them, and it's called resentment for a reason. I'm telling you all my secrets here, my psychology secrets. Resent. That's resentment. I keep resending them the bill, send them the bill, waiting for them to pay. I'm just stuck here with debt. If I keep doing that, if I take it back, like I was saying a little earlier, I'm like, no, like, stop resenting, let go. Like, they get to live their own life. They have the freedom to live their own life. It has nothing to do with us anymore. People can come in here and their parents have been dead for 20 years. It's their job, if they choose to do it. So let's look at why we're not bringing love to that person of ourselves. So if I keep resenting, then I keep resending this bill to them and waiting for them, and then I'm left without love. That's how that goes. So let's get to the real thing here. This is all part of it. There's the steps that lead up to it. So I'd rather not just forgive that person, forgive my parents, forgive anyone that's cut off love for myself, and look at why am I still waiting for them instead of going and getting that love for myself, going to that space, the isness where love is. I've been there. I know that space well. And I go there, and then I go out, and then I go there, and then I get confused and go in my ego again, and I go there, and then I, go back to getting triggered and blaming other people for the lack of love in my own life. We go there, and we have that. You have that. That love is there, and no one can take that away. No one ever can take that away. And the more you learn how to connect with it here, the more it just shows up everywhere around you. It shows up feeling you. There's a song that's like feeling you all around me. It's like feeling love all around us. It's Jonas Brothers song. I just heard it at a restaurant, but it's like heaven coming down. It's like when you hold me, when we are held by love and in this place of knowing love and holding ourselves, then it feels like heaven is coming down. It's not the other person. It comes through the other person, but it's not, the source is not the other person. That's an illusion, sadly, as handsome or cute or whatever, beautiful as another person might seem or are or whatever. It's like the love is there, but it's just flowing through that person. If you have it in you, then it's always flowing, and you always have access to it, and it's there. You just look up and you notice the sun is shining on your face again, but the love was always flowing from the sun. You're just cutting it off when you cut it off inside yourself. And so you bring it to the relationship. It's not that other person is bringing it. it's hard to explain because it's really it's a mystery we get to enter. So I'm inviting you to enter it. But what we're learning to do is bring us back to that source. Let's go there. Let's go. I'm kind of like, let's stop procrastinating and let's go there. Okay, so instead of waiting for this other person, okay, so if we feel like if I let go of waiting, then who's going to bring her the love? What if she's not going to know love? What if he, if you're a he, what if we let go and we find out they were right? Like, we're not going to find out they're right. We know that they're not right. They're wrong. They're so wrong. It is not true. It's a lie. That, like, let's just go there. Let's look. Let's look. So look. If you want to. If this is too much for you, don't do this. Go get therapy. So if I let go of the guy, the other person, the friend, the parents, you can see the girl locked in the dungeon and just pick her up and like, I'm so sorry. I cut you off from the sun because all these people said you weren't allowed to be in it. You weren't allowed to see it. You weren't allowed to have it. It's like, I don't want to go too quickly to describe it because then I'm cutting off my experience of it. But it's like you're scooping up a girl, you're scooping up a little girl, you're scooping up your 3-year-old self, your 4-year-old self, your 6-year-old self, your 12-year-old self, your 16-year-old self. You're scooping them up, you're scooping her up, holding her close to your heart and saying, I'm so sorry. Momentarily, I was believing these lies. I was out of my center point, out of this true understanding of love. I went back to childhood, to those old lies that you're meant to be cut off from love and you're not meant to be cut off. We have a memory of seeing the sun. I don't know where that comes from for you. I know I have that. I have a memory of the sun shining in my face. And I know that as love. And I'm not going to keep that from myself, not for anybody. Not because of anybody else that's caught up in the lies that were told to them, or taught to them by people's actions. It's ignorance. It's just people not in the truth in that moment. It's not their job to correct this for you. It's our job now to pursue truth and know it and live it, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. But you got to know it in your own life. We have to have courage. We have to have courage. I encourage you. Courage like the lion. You have to take steps in courage, even though we're afraid. And go here and look. Okay, is there no one to love her? Oh, look, I am here to love her. Why am I not choosing to scoop her up, call her, talk to her, communicate with her, have reciprocity, have a balanced relationship? There's a rabbi that taught, if I'm not for myself, who will be? If not now, then when? Like, how long are we going to put this off? She's sitting right there, or he's sitting right there without this love. Who are we? What right do we have to cut this person off from love like everybody else has? Like, no, not everybody. We've had moments of love and moments of love and glimpses of love, and we know the freaking sun. We know love. We have a memory. It's in us. If we're made out of God and out of the image of God, then it's in us. We just have to add water, awaken that knowledge. Remind ourselves of the truth. Just reawaken that. Obviously, you know, I'm encouraging you as I'm encouraging myself in this area of growth. I've done it so many times in my life. It's just another layer, and then we get to level up. Level up in consciousness because we're letting go of another layer. And so, who am I to leave her without this love? What? I don't have any right to do that. I can do that. It's a free choice. Always a free choice to love or not to love. I'm loving her. Like, I don't know where you're going, but I'm loving her. Like, she's getting scooped up again. I'm scooping her up again. Of the higher part of me that's connected to this still. If it's like there's some scripture verse where it's, Christ is in the heart of God, and I am in the heart of Christ. I understand it like this. So this helps me. It helps me go back to this place. Is I can take from heaven freely. It's freely given to me. It's not taken. I can receive. The woman receives. That's part of the feminine aspect of us, is to passively receive, but it's an active reception. If this is how I was taught. I was taught in my graduate school, but not my graduate school, in my internship in Montreal. Even if you think of the anatomy of a male and a female, is the male thrusts out and the woman receives, and that's the concept. And so I won't go into it more. Whatever, like, I don't mind talking about it, but just it's this reception. But that can trigger people too, so we won't go into all that. But if you think of just divine love, like the sun pouring out all this love, and we get to receive, accept, welcome. And so if here's this little girl, and I'm going to scoop her up. Oh yeah, that's what I was saying, is I'm hearing from the divine. I was hearing, you're beautiful. I love you. I love you. I love you. I see your shine. I see your sadness. I see your loneliness. I see your lack of the sun. And I pick you up, and let's go there. Let's go there together. The beauty, the beauty is just like the heart of our essence. It's like this shining that you think that they always taught us, this person is worth rejecting. Leave her there. Like, she's just going to bring you down, and it's just going to be another responsibility, or she's not going to measure up because she's not the ego. But I see her. She's shining. She's shining. You welcome her. You integrate her into your life, and you will shine. You'll shine like you're always meant to shine. You will be who you truly are. We'll be our authentic selves. It's done. It's 2020 in like a month, you guys. I know this might be dated for if you're watching this in the future. We're done. We're done. Let's be done leaving our essence out and living in our ego and cutting off love. People are just living in instantaneous gratification, and they're not knowing real intimacy. And I understand the appeal of that, because I understand, because it's like, oh yeah, what if, wait, can't we go that way? But don't take the shortcuts. I mean, you can if you want, but then you'll burn out from them and see that they're not giving you this. He is worth loving. She's worth loving. We don't have to wait for anybody. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just saying, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You ask this part of yourself to forgive you. I'm so sorry I left you on the ground. I knew it had to do with inner ghosting. I had an intuition about that from the first video, you know. I'm so sorry. I love you, and I am committed to you, and I choose not to leave you. Not because of anyone. Not because of anyone. And I'll do my best. I always say I'll do my best with God's help, with the divine love's help. And I beg for divine love to help. Give me wisdom, give me discernment. Help me not forget this again. I'm so sick of forgetting it and leaving her again and leaving her again, leaving her again. I want to love her and stay with her and show her. Don't tell her, you deserve love, you can have it, you'll get it in heaven. You know, you can sometimes get it here. No, you get love all the time, girl. You get love all the time. I get to connect with Source. I get to stay out of my ego. I get to shed all that stuff and stay connected to Source. And I pick you up and I love you and I'm bringing this to you. That's it. I'm sure I can go deeper. That's pretty deep though. That's enough. This is long enough. I wish you love. Thanks for going on this with me. I know it's helpful. I just trust it touches you and helps you have love.